for the question, what people, events, and experiences have had the greatest impact on you in your life? There have been a lot of experiences that I've gone through, both good and bad, that have had impacted me greatly in either negative or positive, um, influential impacts. Um, to start off, growing up, my mom was on drugs and relied heavily on alcohol and substances to fulfill her life. And my dad also grew up that way. They had me when they were very young. My mom was, I think, 18. My dad was 19. And with the whole thing with my mom, at 2 years old, I was no longer under her custody. I was given custody to my grandparents. And the reason why I was given custody to my grandparents instead of my father was because my father was also very immature at that young age. He was in and out of jail, struggled with the same thing, drug addiction. And because of that, he, to this day, has struggles finding jobs because of his background. So like when background checks come back, they question it. And even though that's not who he is anymore, like it definitely has an impact on me even now, and has an impact from the past. Going into that a little bit further, when I got to be in high school, I started going down the rabbit hole and down the same path my parents did. I got sucked into the wrong crowd, and my focus was not on studying, it was on partying, and the only thing I did was, smoke pot and drink underage. And at one point, I was driving down the road after leaving a party, and I swerved. I wasn't under the influence of alcohol, but I was under the influence of marijuana. I got pulled over by a cop, and because I got caught, I had to attend PTI, which is a program that you take for first time, I don't want to say abusers, but like first time, I'll say accidents. This is the first time you've gotten caught doing something. And because I went through that PTI program, it really set me straight. It made me want to better myself and surround myself with people who actually cared about me and cared about where I'm going to be. And it made me want to go to college. Nobody in my family had been to college before, past technical school, and that was my grandfather. So it really helped me to have that motivation to go to college and actually become something for myself, and being able to take care of myself without struggling and hoping that I can find a job with a background. And PTI does wipe that off your record for your one-time offense, and I'm very thankful that I got caught and I had that opportunity to wipe that off so that I could be where I am right now. Shortly after graduating college, I went to USC Upstate, and I graduated with a bachelor's in business management. During that time, I had done an internship through a company called Drexelmeyer, and with Drexelmeyer, I got hired on shortly after full-time for a corporate training specialist position. I was absolutely thrilled. I was going to be making a lot of money, and I ended up getting let go from the position. It was nearing COVID, but also due to job performance. And at the time, I thought I could do everything on my own and kind of also slack off in a way and not really ask people for help or clarification on stuff that really needed it. So some aspects of the job weren't getting paid attention to, and ended up making that department not succeed. So with the impact of COVID and with the impact of my job performance, I was let go, and that really made me feel really crappy about myself, which really did suck at the time. Moving forward shortly after that, I did end up developing a disability to where I would be having stomach issues pretty much left and right. It still hasn't been completely solved what's going on with me, but I was out of work for about 2 years almost, and it really put a damper on who I was. So on top of losing a job, I had declining health issues that kept popping up, and it just felt like there was no end to it. But because of that time, I had time to reflect on who I was, and it also gave me time to heal, not only physically but mentally as well, and prepare myself for figuring out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, and how I could better myself. Also moving forward is, someone who really influenced me and had a really great impact on my life would be my current husband, Brad. I don't have patience. It's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. And when I want something done, I want it done right then, right away. I want it completed. And it kind of sounds like the opposite from like my experience at Drexelmeyer, because obviously I was slacking, but when it comes to something that's really important to me, I have virtually no patience, and I want to be able to succeed at it or be better. And when it comes to my disability, I'm still the same way. I just want to get it over with. I want to find something to cure it, to fix it, and my husband has really been that shoulder to lean on. He has a lot of patience and constantly reminds me that the time is coming, and that I just need to be patient. And then last but not least, for greatest events, impacts, and experiences would be my current company I work for, American Credit Acceptance. They have been absolutely wonderful. They have not only been understanding of what I've been through, but also what I'm currently going through still with my physical disability. And they have given me the podium to run projects and do all these things I never thought imaginable from previous jobs where I was constricted in my ability and what I could do. Moving into the second question, in which experiences did I find the greatest inspiration and passion for leadership? I have to go back to American Credit Acceptance to kind of tap in on what I was just saying. American Credit Acceptance has holds a huge importance for employee development, and not just in a way of saying, oh, well, we'll give you a promotion here and here if you do this kind of training, but more so in the way of, I can come up with ideas on my own, bring it to my boss and to my leadership team, and say, hey, I have this idea. It's going to align well with our common goal that we're working for reducing, say, retention and reducing the turnover rate. And they continue to trust me and even let me lead these projects and to see where it goes within the organization and letting me be successful. Moving on to the third question, do the failures or disappointments you experienced earlier in your life constrain you, even today, or have you been able to reframe them as learning experiences? I've definitely been able to reframe everything I've gone through as a learning experience. From surrounding yourself with like-minded people who want to set themselves up for success, but even though they might not do it in the same way, they give you inspiration and encouragement of approaching it in different ways. Going back to the reading, what Schultz said earlier on in chapter 1, Schultz said, you can't measure your life experiences in the moment because you never know when you're going to find the true path that enables you to find your voice. It speaks so much volumes to me because going through what I am currently even going through, I don't know what my truth path is, but going through these experiences are going to help me figure that out. So I definitely reframe everything I have gone through and still go through as a learning experience, and I hope to continue to do so. For the last question, do you think you need to make any adjustments to your personal leadership development as a result? If so, what are they? Going back to my experience at Drexelmeyer, one of my first jobs, I think something that I really need to make adjustments on is being okay with accepting help, asking for help, and asking questions, and also being able to speak up and know when I'm not happy where I am, and not being afraid to move forward even though it's a scary experience to do so. Even if I don't know where I'm going, I need to make sure that I'm happy and I'm not feeling like I'm stuck in some kind of plateau.